That's alright with me. Fall out like the leaves. Said that you don't love me no more. That's on me. Yes, that's on me.
Hey, we're on.
Yes, brother.
Trust you to be in the sunshine.
I can hardly hear you.
Can you hang on 2 seconds? Hang on.
Am I all right outside where I am?
Yeah, you're fine. I'm just going to try and turn me up. Am I quite low? Is it still quiet?
Like really quiet. Am I coming through decent?
You're coming through all right, yeah. Have you got headphones?
I have, yes. So do you want me to go and get them, put them in?
It might be easier. See if it's better for you.
What's that, dude?
Good choice. You're coming through all right, though. You look pretty ass, mate.
Yeah? Fuck it. You've been working out, lad. You look like you put on weight. So all that skipping.
Oh, mate, it's that's boredom, you know. But I've fallen in love with it, you know. But it goes hand in hand because I want to get into boxing more.
One sec, bro.
Right, can you hear me?
I can. Oh, you sound lovely and clear now.
There we go, mate. There we go. The banging us.
There you
banging
go.
us someone's in there.
That's it, mate. I'm going to turn you up a bit. But yeah, go on. How are you, mate? How are you dealing from, obviously, we've not spoken for a while, like, so what's happening with work? How's your little girl?
Everything, mate. I'm the happiest I've ever been. Do you know what I mean? It's like this isolation thing. I'm off work at the minute, getting 80% of pay, whatever that furloughed thing means. And got my kid here, got my dog here, got the jacuzzi out, sun shining, got all the food in and all that sort of stuff. Despite the fact that everyone's going to die, I'm feeling pretty positive, mate. Do you know what I mean?
You're the kind of guy that I can imagine that will just sort of thrive in these situations. You just sort of like dye your beard sort of like pink or something. Have an
I've
axe.
actually dyed my beard black today, but yeah, no, mate, have you not? I'll show you my gas mask. I've got a Russian Cold War gas mask, a full biological weapon suit,
Right.
which I use when I go to Sainsbury's
Fucking man.
because I don't want to catch it, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is like the highest level of protection you can get. I've been wearing those masks for ages.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's,
It's mad, mate. What
it's
is
serious, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It is. It's mad how quickly it's kind of developed from almost something that's kind of felt like, nah, to like sort of you can't. I mean, I'm going around my area and there's people like sort of families in cars with like all masks on and sort of blue gloves on. It's something like you'd see from The Purge or something.
Yeah, it's like an episode of Black Mirror or something, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But it's like the thing is though, it's like I've been serious for a while. I got all the food and all that sort of stuff quite a while ago.
Right.
You know, because obviously I smoke a lot of bud, and you know, I think the two go hand in hand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Paranoid, conspiracy theorist. As soon as I heard of it, I thought, that's it, they're coming for us. The global elite are finally going to try and grab power. I best go Costco and buy shitloads of rice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And bog roll.
Mate, the amount of bog roll I had was ridiculous. And I did feel guilty because at first, you know, no one was getting criticised for hoarding shit. And then obviously everyone got criticised and I thought, shit, I've got like, you know, at least 100 bog rolls. So I went and knocked on the old deers houses around here and said, listen, if you need anything, you know, I've got loads of bog roll. You know, just there's my number. Just give us a shout, like, you know what I mean?
Have you got a like a wooden chest in your attic full of like baked beans as well, or something?
Yeah, well, the thing is as well, though, I bought those massive tins of baked beans from Costco. And then my bird says to me, they're for cafes, you bell, and once you've opened them, they only last 3 days.
Yeah.
So what we have to do is we open a gigantic tin of beans and like everything has beans in it for the next 3 nights, you know what I mean? I should have for breakfast, beans on toast, then lunchtime, jacket potato and beans, dinner, pizza with beans, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just beans on its own if you need a little snack.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, I'm trying to limit the amount that I go to the supermarket because it's pretty scary, isn't it? You know what I mean? I don't want it.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I genuinely, I think I've had it. And a lot of the people that I speak to, I train quite a lot, or I used to, and I got a respiratory problem around Christmas, coughing up blood, felt terrible for ages, and it was the exact same symptoms as the coronavirus, but you know, clearly it didn't come over here till January, so you know, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was something else, but it was very similar.
There's been a few people
But
that have.
apparently, yeah.
Oh, go on. Sorry.
Sorry, I was going to say David Icke's pushing the theory that like it's been around for. Well, he's pushing all the theories. He's pushing the economic one, the 5G one, and the like Orwellian control system that they're trying to implement using this virus. Which, if they were trying to implement that, it's a pretty nifty way of doing it because you just go, yep, lock us down, that's fine. Do you know what I mean? Track our phones, yeah, we need it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. To be honest, mate, on that note, I think we need some 5G because you're sticking like mad.
Oh, am I? One sec. I'll go inside. Just one sec.
I think we need to be pro 5G with this podcast. There you go.
Is that better?
I think so. Hang on, wait for it to catch up. You look like you're abroad. You've got that sort of like you're in some sort of like a strip in Spain or something.
Costa del Dudley, mate.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It looks like
It's,
it. What?
It's sunny here.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm going to be doing this. Maybe one more, and I'm going to take the dogs out because it's meant to be. Lizzie was telling me it's meant to be quite hot today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite warm. It's not boiling though. Do you know what I mean? I was preparing for like a very hot sunny. We're going to have a barbecue in that, but I don't really think it's that sort of weather.
No, it's not that hot yet, certainly. But what was the last fight card that you've been doing? Because I want to ask you some questions. In the last 12 months, you've obviously done the hay bale sort of bare knuckle. You did the bare knuckle. I know you've done a few other shows. Just kind of, can you go through them and what was the difference between the feuds?
Yeah, I mean, so the last one that I was involved with was probably the most exciting one that I've done in ages.
Hay
so
bale.
It's a strange. No. This is like a new concept. It was with a load of Birmingham like rappers and like some Insta famous guys and stuff. And like basically, there's a lad called Ginge from Shard He's an absolute fucking legend, yeah. And you may have seen it, yeah. There's a video that went viral, and there was a ginger guy fighting an older, bigger guy, and basically it was on this like pub car park, and they hit him loads of times, but the older guy kept coming forward. Anyway, the guy hitting the older guy, he wasn't older, but he was older than that guy was Ginge, yeah. And the video made him look terrible. And then he made a video saying like, "No, I'm not terrible. The guy's a real bad guy that I did that to. He deserved it. He'd done this, this, and this." Anyway, off the back of it, the geezer has become like Insta famous. Do you know what I mean? Everybody, especially in the Midlands, everybody knows who Ginge from Shard End is.
Right.
Anyway, he's a good lad. He wanted to do, he wanted to set up a boxing club in his local area, and they wanted to support the charity of, I have to remember this right, Gloves Up, Knives Down, like stopping everyone stabbing each other and shit, and because I'm mad for that in Birmingham. And anyway, so he's put on this boxing show. He's going to do it at like a little conservative club. Sold out within a couple of days, and thought, shit, this could be big. So he roped he's mates with like some of them, like the best grime artists in the UK. So like, I don't know if you've heard of like JK and Bowser Boss.
I've heard of Bowser Boss.
Yeah, and Mist. And well, Bowser Boss was like one of the main gaffers of the show. It was him and Ginge that put it on.
Right.
Yeah. So we did this show, and it was in Birmingham in a club called Prism. Yeah, the best venue I have ever seen for a boxing show, dude. It was fucking fantastic. If you watch the videos back, it is by far the coolest show that I've ever been in.
What made it a decent show then? What, like the shape of it?
All the local grime artists were there. Not even local, but like the major grime. I mean, like real famous like rappers and that were there, and like all people from Birmingham and different groups of people and all that sort of shit. But the venue itself is like uber cool. Do you know what I mean? It's like the best nightclub in Birmingham. So there's big fuck off lights everywhere. It's hard to describe really, to be honest with you, but like a really fantastic venue. And like there was only 4 fights, but every fight had been like built up on Instagram. They'd all been having banter. They'd done a press conference and all that sort of shit. And it was just like 3 rounds of white collar boxing, 3 2-minute rounds. Right. But the lads were on it. You know what I mean? And few of the they were good fighters, to be fair. You know what I mean? But the atmosphere was phenomenal. I mean, it was that when you do a show, yeah, it was that point between everyone being so excited they're having the best time of their lives and tipping over into everyone fighting. It was like just on the cusp of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and no fighting went on whatsoever. Everyone was like, you know what I mean, everyone was really cool, and everyone had literally everyone I've spoke to had a fucking fantastic night. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a new concept because it was music and it was boxing together. So it'd be like a fight and then a couple of lads MCing and stuff like that. Then me talking a bit of bollocks and going around interviewing people and asking people mad shit. And then another fight, you know what I mean? Like,
I bet does that give you a bit of a break? Because I know obviously with like the Bare Fish shows, there's quite a lot of fights, so you've kind of got to be on it a bit more. Did this event give you a bit more time to kind of have a bit more of flavour in it almost?
Well, you'd think that, but obviously it's my responsibility to entertain everyone, isn't it? So if there's big gaps between the fights and there's nothing going on. You know what I mean? I've got to fill those gaps.
Right.
So although I wouldn't say it took the pressure off, I'd say it was perhaps more difficult.
Right.
But it was a different format and it worked really well. Everyone that I spoke to said it were fantastic. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Leftway as well? Because I know that's sort of still slowly growing, and I think it's a shame that obviously with all this going on, stopping a lot of main events with the coronavirus and stuff, is that really I felt had a drive. Did you manage to catch the Gaz's fight online by any chance with him and Lomas?
I saw it, mate. I mean, with regards to Leftway, I mean, I grew up, like, my thing was Thai boxing. I loved it. And Paul Gilligan.
Yeah, Gilly, yeah.
Yeah. I trained at the same gym as him, at Nige Ashton's gym. And then Gilly set up his own gym. By that time, I'd moved down to Birmingham, but I still came up every now and then and, like, trained with him and stuff, because Tom Flanagan was there. I don't know if you know Tom Flanagan, but he's like he's a Muay Thai fighter. He was like mine and Batewell's best friend. He is fucking hilarious. I mean, the lad, you can't be around him and hilarity doesn't break out.
Right.
He's a rare human being, but he's fucking fantastic. Anyway, went up and did a bit with him and stuff like that, and that's always been my thing until I snapped my arm in half.
Oh shit!
So it's a bit. I've got a plate through my arm, and it's gone twice. So it's like holding the pads in Thai boxing and stuff. It just fucking hurts.
That happened in Thai boxing then?
No, it happened in boxing.
Right.
So yeah, I was having a boxing match in Birmingham and my arm snapped in half.
Fucking hell.
And it was fucking mental. And that was Gillian Flanagan in my corner. That was years ago. That was probably 10 years ago, that. And like, I think it was the third round, my arm just broke.
Right.
And like, the ref made me carry on. Do you know what I mean? And it was. I didn't think I broke my arm, if I'm honest. But then I got to hospital. I had a full fracture, but it wasn't displaced.
Was it almost because of the adrenaline going?
Oh, yeah. I was shit scared. It was my first fight. I was fucking shitting it, mate. In Birmingham, it was me, Flanagan, and and Gilly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I hadn't been training, if I'm honest. I just said I was going to do it, so I just thought, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And it was pretty intimidating, but my adrenaline was buzzing. I drove to the hospital and that. I didn't think anything was wrong with me.
With a broken arm?
Well, the medic told me I had a sprained wrist, so I just thought, like, I'm being a pussy here. I need to stop being such a girl about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had actually broke my arm and I had to have an operation and have a metal bar screwed in it and shit.
Oh no.
Which was
I bet, yeah, especially for your first fight as well.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. Yeah, it was, and that was at like it was in Digbeth in like this. Oh, it's just fucking weird setup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, so did you manage to catch them in terms of him and Lomas fighting Gaz?
Fantastic fight, man. Fantastic.
I could barely hold the camera. I was just like, you know.
I mean, I love Gaz Karen a bit. Do you know what I mean? He's a true champion and he's a fucking funny guy as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
but he's a nice lad as well. And
he's
like, obviously, that's one of the main fights that I wanted to tune into. And I knew he was going to win. You know, Sean Lomas is an unbelievable fighter. He's quality.
Tough.
He's hard as they come.
He's
got
guy.
Good technique. Yeah, tough. That's the thing. So I can't, just to stop him. He's never... So he's been stopped in a couple of fights, but he's certainly not given up, and he's not been knocked out. The ref stopped it before it's got stopped. So I don't know if you can stop him. Do you know what I mean?
It's just like Terminator,
yeah. No one wants to see someone get, but he's a great fighter, and that was a fantastic fight. That was an epic Leftway fight.
The adrenaline going. I mean, it was mad, and like I've never. That was the first time that I've had that feeling of because through shooting the documentary, building up to that fight, I was shooting Gaz pretty much every day for 4 weeks. So when you shoot someone for like sort of 6-7 hours a day, you get to know someone really well, and
of course,
we became really good mates through it. And when it came up to all that, and even down to a few hours before the fight, we went to his mum's house, and he was doing sort of like breathing exercises, like Wim Hof stuff. And I remember just thinking, I felt like I was kind of going into a fight with him. It was like a very small glimpse of knowing how the family feel or your coaches feel. Yeah. There's that kind of in some way bond, and it was the first time he'd done anything to that extent of filming, so that was an experience for him. But yeah, honestly, I could barely hold the camera straight, Ben. I was just sort of like, there's one moment I was like, Alan, fucking yeah, and then no shit, I'm doing a job here. But it was meant. I mean, talk about anticlimax, because obviously it's great that he won, but you know, building up to this, the Rocky sort of story, it was just the icing on the cake that he won.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And you know, if you look at Sean O'Mass and Dean Robinson, the fight, Sean, I know that was like, so the BFBA brought left weight to the UK pretty much, and it's the most extreme form of fighting you can have. You know,
it's the purest.
Thai boxing, yeah, it's the purest form of fighting. You know, it's you're going to take on more damage than MMA. MMA is a lot of the time, not so much anymore. But at one point, MMA was just all wrestling and jiu-jitsu and a lot of, you know, dirty boxing up against the cage and that sort of thing. And it wasn't particularly entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was perhaps at that point the most extreme form of fighting. But to see two lads rolling around on the floor, you know, getting each other in submissions is not that exciting.
It's more of it's closest to the gladiatorial kind of times in a sense, without weapons, without, you know, unless you throw in a chair and it becomes WWE like. But yeah, no, it was that was an insane one, and I'm hoping that what's going to go on, because UFC is struggling, so of course the sort of smaller leagues are going to be struggling even more, you know, not being able to put shows on and stuff. I believe the BFBA guys, they're putting on, I think they're trying to continue with July, aren't they?
I don't know. So I've heard from a pretty good source that they don't think there'll be any boxing shows this year. Yeah. Whether that's right or not, I don't know. But you know, the people that, how do I put it, that they know the guys in the council. I mean, I've not looked into it, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
So, and I can't see, you know, in such a short period of time, people be able to have gatherings and stuff like that. And if you do invest in it, and the virus is still about, you know, people are going to be reluctant to come, you know, for various reasons. So it's more of a risk than it was before.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Financially. So, but you know, a lot of these shows pay for themselves, and it's you know, it's not necessarily a full-time business. You know, it's you do them every quarter or something, don't you? You know, and the rest is marketing and video and training. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they'll all bounce back, but it's a time where I can't imagine there's going to be many shows. Do you know what I mean?
No. Well, fingers crossed. I mean, if it's till the end of the year, it's a shame. It's mad, though, isn't it? Because there's never been more of a time where people want fights to have some form of entertainment. But
I was thinking, you know, with regards to social distancing and stuff like that, bring back jousting. That's another British sport that hasn't been seen for a while. You're going to be at least 2 meters apart. It's exciting as fuck. You know
what is that? I'm thinking
like
the thing.
Ride a horse,
a horse with the sort of like Game of Thrones. Yeah.
A boxing glove on the end of it. I'd love to watch. Get some of the bare knuckle lads doing it. You know what I mean? If they can't ride horses, do it on motorbikes.
Well, that's the funniest thing. I mean? These guys could like knock out pretty much anyone, but I can't imagine like the likes of Gaz and sort of Batewell and getting on a horse. I can't see it.
Yeah, no, I can't visualise that myself. Maybe Batewell is a bit like Putin or something, with them shades on, like the Putin wears, something like that. But who knows, mate? It's an interesting time, isn't it? You know
it is. It's. I hope that they sort of like, even if they have to sort of do it in a way where, you know, say for example UFC. I know it's probably not going ahead now, but like the Khabib and Tony, I think they were going to just try and do the whole 20 man in a large arena room just to try and at least televise it. But I think even that's looking like it's on the rocks now as well.
It's going to be problematic, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because they're breaking the rules, aren't they, that have been implemented?
Yeah.
It's like everything's just been put on hold, isn't it? You know, but for the fighters, they're not going to be able to train. They're not going to be able to get the sparring in, are they? Which is essential. And they're going to be sparring. If they are getting the sparring in, it's going to be the same people repeatedly.
Over and over, And
exactly, And they probably have to share a house with them, so everything's got to stop. At the minute, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fighters can just keep the fitness up, just keep the cardio ticking over. A lot of them have got punching bags at home and that. They do their own circuits and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So, it's interesting time. It's a shame. I was just building up my thing, and I'm getting more and more. Do you want to do my boxing show? Do you want to do my boxing show? And like, I'm just trying to be honest with you, I started off winging it, like MC, and I turned up to the first BFBA show, and I just had the gold jacket. and I just thought, right, fuck it. I always say I'm gonna do things, yeah, and then like when it comes to it, I'm like, fuck, man, why have I agreed to this? What the fuck? First time turned up, stadium full of people. It was the England game, so everyone was pissed up after watching the England game early. So it was a crowd full of pissed up people. But then I was pissed too, so I got in. I was part of the.
Where did the whole gold jacket and sort of contacts? Where is that? Was that just like a random pick, or was that kind of sort of like an agenda?
So what it was, I've always been a massive fan of bare knuckle boxing, and like one of the most exciting things for me is meeting all these people that I used to watch on YouTube. Yeah, so like Michael Lord, Dan Hunter, Scott Midgley, yeah, you know, fucking Aaron Gorgon, you know, all them sort of lads. Fucking, they're just, you know, to meet them lads and to know them now and stuff is just phenomenal for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I used to watch them on YouTube, and like when it was in the hay bales, and someone called Andy Topliff was running it, which I believe then got bought out by BKB, who's like the biggest bare knuckle show now. I think they actually bought that, and then they carried on investing into it, and now it became what it is today.
Right.
Now, so to watch all them, but anyway, all of that. So I used to watch that, and Dave Courtney, you know, like the London East End gangster.
No. Oh, is in the old guy? They're like quite. He's quite oldish now. Real fucking like talks like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he was the MC for the BKB show, yeah.
Right.
And he used to wear a gold jacket. Yeah. So my point of reference was, you know, right, he's the bare knuckle MC that I've ever seen or there ever has been. Get a gold jacket and see what happens. So I got the gold jacket, and then I got the contact lenses. And at that moment of my life, that time of my life, I was smoking a lot of wacky. I was, and I don't know whether I had mild cannabis-induced psychosis or whatever, which is, you know, I think is a good thing sometimes. And
Adds to it.
Opens up your what's the word? Your artistic side or whatsoever. So anyway, so I developed this character, gold teeth, eyes, gold jacket, all that sort of stuff, you know, and that's where it came from. Yeah, smoking a lot of weed at that point in my life, designed that character and stuck with it.
It's because it's pretty popular. Because didn't you? What was that thing? You got some like quite some funny requests. Do you remember we were speaking on the phone a while back, and you said you got like, was it like you've had some like from like a Hindu or something like that?
No, that was it. So one of the lads who runs a boxing show over in Nottingham, he asked me if I could host like a ladies' night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, at the time, my missus was being a cunt, but she's being all right again now. I didn't want to upset her by doing that anyway, so I declined it because I was scared of her, basically.
Right.
But whether the character would have fitted into that, I don't know. But I would have just gone there and done my usual thing, just freaked people out and been a fucking weirdo and try and make people laugh. Do you know what I mean?
I would have paid to see that.
Oh, mate, it would have been fucking hilarious. But as well, I'm not the right person for that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? They'll all end up offended and walking out or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's always
because I've had to rein it in a little bit with the bare knuckle boxing as well. You know what I mean? Because like, I don't know, you can be a joker and that, but at the end of the day, the lads want to make a professional business, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, you can't take it too far. With like, you know, I remember I won't say who, but one of the guys, he like employed me once and he ran me up and he was like, yeah, because I said to him, look, mate, do you want me to do my normal thing and just be myself, yeah? Or do you want me to, like, tone it in a little bit, you know, just rein it in? He was like, nah, be yourself, man, do your thing. And the next day he ran me, he was like, fucking loved it, mate. But if I'm honest, I had quite a few complaints. I was like, fuck. He was like, you upset them big lesbians. And he said some other stuff.
Man.
And I was like, nah, man. He said they were going to fucking fill you in, like, you know what I mean? I was like, shit.
No way.
So like that's I mean, the thing is though, mate, there's no school of being a fucking MC or whatever, or like there's no real reference points as well, because I'm not going to be Bruce Buffer, am I? I'm not going to be.
No, it's a very unique role. You need to have like some sort of credit of your own individual sort of flavour to it. Otherwise, it's just another.
And you've got to make it up as well. You can take like snippets of other people's lines. Do you know what I mean? Like. As you would, like, you know, the red shorts and the white trim and all this sort of shit and seconds out and stuff like that. But the rest of it has to be like ad hoc. Right. I got a lot from Gilly. So Gilly used to train like Bakewell and Flanagan and all that sort of stuff. And basically, he's like, he was the linchpin to like the start of it all. Like, I don't like, we all used to train together, me, Flanagan, Bakewell. Nav used to train there. I don't think we trained somewhere else, but like that's how we pretty much all knew each other. And like Gilly's just like this. Do you know him, the Australian guy?
Yeah. I've met him a
He's
few
a
times.
fucking dude. He's a legend.
Yeah,
He is the nicest guy. He's
Everyone
a complete
speaks
psycho,
so highly of him.
but he's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I don't know. He's like a best friend, a father figure. He was my teacher at school. He was my maths teacher.
No way. I didn't know he was a
Yeah,
teacher.
yeah. He cornered me in that fight where I broke my arm, and like, yeah, mate. He's like, how do I put it? We did a post ages ago about him being the martial arts. What's the word? Master. He's like the
Right.
martial arts master. He has his own wisdom. He's a very wise guy, highly intelligent geezer. Chose this like, well, nomadic lifestyle sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And he's just cool as fuck, man.
He's a lot of people
And
speak highly of him, like as in,
oh, he's the best of the best, mate. And yeah, he emceed the first show, but then he went over to Thailand, so I took over from there. Do you know what I mean? But I've copied all his lines, man. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
he created his own. He just did what he thought was right. You know what I mean? He just sort of like added a bit of comedy and stuff like that. So
What does he say to you if you're in a fight though, and when you broke your arm? What
yeah,
advice is he giving to you?
fucking carry on, you soft twat. That fucking nothing wrong. Just like that sort of thing. Really, I remember like so we weren't taking it very seriously, me and Flanagan, and me and Flanagan like used to call each other gay. Flanagan is gay, well he says he's not, but he definitely is. And anyway, we got there, yeah,
Oh,
and we didn't know that Gilly started shouting at us, yeah, and saying like, making Flanagan massage my legs. So it's like we didn't expect it. It's like, you know, if you're just at a fight one day or something, someone goes, right, start massaging your mate's legs, and he's going up a bit, and this, and we're crying, laughing, and he's screaming, saying, we're not taking it seriously, you fucking idiots, this, that, and the other, and it was fucking hilarious. It was
he,
brilliant. But
he,
that's his encouragement. He shouts. He gets very passionate. Do you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
No, he
But
uses that.
mate, he's trained some fucking fantastic fighters. Do you know what I mean? When he had his own gym, the level to look at all those fighters, you just had to look at the lads who were fighting. You know, the condition they were in was phenomenal. Do you know what I mean?
What is
And he
it?
was
What is it usually that sort of separates, say, like an exceptional trainer? Because he is like anyone I've met, they speak so highly of him. What kind of makes a great trainer and a shit one? Because obviously you might have probably been through a fair few. So
I've been to so many different gyms because I've moved to Birmingham, obviously, and then I've moved to Dudley, and then like I've been to all sorts of things. You know what I mean? I think the main thing is the level to which they care about it and they want the outcome to come. They have a money making exercise, or they want their team of fighters to be the best in the world. You know, and Gilly was that. You know, when he had his own gym and stuff, he put his heart and soul into it, but he covered every aspect as well. Like all his fighters would cut weight properly, which meant when they went into the fight, like Bakewell cuts weight fantastically, doesn't he? You know what I mean?
mm,
He's like, he always looks miles bigger than the dude he's fighting.
yeah,
But that's because he cuts weight like a professional fighter. Do you know what I mean? He's like, he can lose fucking God knows what in water and stuff like that. And to be able to do that, you have to have a lot of psychological power.
yeah,
You have to be able to sit in that sauna, so dehydrated you're nearly fucking dead,
yeah,
but just continue with it until the job's done.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And yeah, so the lads were in amazing physical condition because the training that he did was just horrific. You know what I mean? It was so intense and so exhausting that if you did it regularly, you became super fit. You know, and the weight cutting and the training, the tailoring is training to. I mean, I never fought there or anything. You train like. I just dipped my toe in me, really. You know what I mean? I've had a few fights, but it was never anything fucking special. But like, say Flanagan and Bakewell and like, you know, Danny Lomas and all them sort of lads, like he'd get them to he'd tailor their training to the oncoming fight. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
He'd really put a lot of effort into, you know, knowing the opponent and telling you what was going to work in this fight against your opponent and stuff. You know what I mean? He's
I
a
think
fantastic trainer.
I think I actually I was meant to because he was certainly busy on the night because he was emceeing on the night, but I actually wouldn't mind meeting up with him to get a few words from him about his thoughts on left weight because obviously he'll know. Well, I'm assuming he'll know a fair bit about it, and especially being when he was in Thailand, a country obviously a lot closer to where it originates from. So I think I might ask him if he could do a piece because I've not, even though it leads up from Gaz going through the training and the family life and leading up to the Lethway fight, I've not actually had a specific person talk about Lethway in a sort of, and I bet he could do it in a way, he could break it down and have a lot of case references that he's experienced and fighters he knows.
He's a wealth of knowledge, mate. He's an absolute wealth of knowledge. Do you know what I mean? He would be a fantastic person. Perhaps more Muay Thai.
Yeah.
But you know, he's fantastic, and he'd be a great interview as well because he's funny. He's a very personable person. Do you know what I mean? He's got a great sense of humour, and you know, he's make a great interview, mate. He's a funny fuck. I'd love to see that. I want
to get him. The weight cutting though. When you said it was like a bit a proper weight cut he does, what is kind of considered a well-made or played out kind of weight cut? Because there's so many different variations. I know obviously things like what they're called, UV bags or IV bags, is it? You know, like I know people.
To be honest with you, I've never really looked into it that much. Do you know what I mean? But like through just like talking to Bagel about it and stuff, and then I had to get down to 84 key for one when I was boxing once, and like it's just, I mean, the basics are limiting what you eat. Do you know what I mean? Eating very little.
Yeah.
Not drinking for like 4 days leading up to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just fucking sweating it out, mate. It's like, you know, I think, you know, the way Bakewell does it is phenomenal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because he always.
That's why he always fucking loses his shit when people don't make the weight, because he knows what it takes to do it, and you have to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's not fair on your opponent. You know what I mean? He never misses the weight. Do you know what I
mean? So many fighters almost say the fight is the exciting bit, and the weight cut's the fight in itself. That's really the first fight.
Yeah.
I
mean, some people think the weight cut's not the right thing, but you know, on the day of the weigh-in, I've cut weight for stuff before, right? And then I've got there and they've not even weighed me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. When I went down to London fighting some guy, and I was only going to get paid, if I'm honest. And he was fucking hard. He was massive as well. And Dan Psycho Sykes.
Right.
And, yeah, man. Well, he wasn't that much bigger than me, but fucking hell, he's a lot better than me.
And they didn't even weigh you?
No, they didn't weigh me, no. No, I was walking around, yeah, and it was like down in Chelmsford, Essex, yeah. We walked in, and like we've been having a smoke on the way down. And we weren't taking it very seriously. We're like, I'm not smoking on the way down. And it's like, should I want a couple of tokes on this? We're like, go on then. Turned up, yeah, and like we got there, fucking weird place, Chelmsford. And walked in, the guy was like, all right, mate, you fighting tonight? I said, yeah. He went, who are you fighting? I said, Dan Sykes. He went, fucking hell, mate, he's twice your size. Let's look with that one. I was like, anyway,
it sounds like snatch.
I've got small hands, me. And like, anyway, so I fucking went outside the car park. I was like, how big's this lad going to be? Anyway, it's like fucking convoy of cars turned up. This lad gets out, fucking massive, like big gold chain and everything. Walks up to him. He's like, are you Ben? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm fighting you tonight. To be honest with you, he was fucking sound. But I shook hands with him. And I remember thinking, his fucking hands are twice as big as mine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I didn't mind that, if I'm honest. Do you know what I mean?
How did that play out?
I got knocked out in the second round. But like, to be honest with you, like, I don't know. I had a chest infection as well. I shouldn't have fought really, but like, I don't know. I thought I went there to fight. You know what I mean? But he caught me. I've got a picture on my phone that I'll send you. It's just as he connects, and I'm up against the ropes. My nose is flat.
Oh,
man. I look like I'm crying. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then there's one where, like, I'm lay on the floor afterwards and I'm trying to get up, but the ref looks like proper concerned for me. Do you know what I mean? The ref's like holding me like a baby. That's it to say, like, you ain't getting up, you did get.
Bless him.
You're mismatched. You've been twatted.
Do you reckon you'll ever fight again?
I don't know, mate. I've not been very successful, I'm honest. You know what I mean? But if I do, I like training for about a week and then jumping in and then not selling tickets and all that bollocks. Yeah. I just like it. Do you know what I mean?
It sounds like you do it for the fun of it, which is...
Yeah, I do it for the fun of it, yeah, but like this whole, you know, when you go on someone's show or something and then like you've got to sell tickets and like fucking all that bollocks. Can't be arsed with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'll fight on a show if I don't have to sell tickets. But then a lot of people feel like that. But then the shows wouldn't necessarily want you to fight if you can't be selling tickets. Do you know what I mean?
Again, it's all part of the culture of the sort of the lower leagues, though, because obviously UFC wouldn't expect that, but then they've got the
they've
funding.
got to pay for themselves, haven't they?
Yeah,
You know
so
what I mean?
it's but that's the thing with hopefully. I mean, obviously this whole thing's put the documentary edit. I've shot everything, but that's one of the other things that's kind of in it. It shows like, you know, even on the night of the fight, me and Gaz are going around in the car and he's just dropping tickets off, and even though it was frustrating for him at the time and stuff, but like it's all part of the sort of,
it's part of the thing, isn't it? You know
part
what I
of the
mean? It's
story.
like, if you look at pro boxers and that, the main reason they become a pro boxer is because the amount of tickets they sell. It's not necessarily always the skill level. Do you know what I mean? You have to sell a lot of tickets.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is what it's what it's based on, isn't it? You know what I mean? Maybe now, you know, we're adjusting to a new way of life, aren't we?
Yeah.
So like, surely there's going to be a business that can be born out of that somehow.
Do you think after once this kind of, with the COVID-19, once it kind of calms down a bit, do you think the sort of bare fist and boxing shows and kickboxing, do you reckon they'll sort of be, how quick do you reckon it will take for people to start going to shows again? Because there's that catch-22, they want entertainment, but then people are going to be a little bit scared of public sort of spaces and for a while.
I think it's the unknown, isn't it? I think to a certain extent, if you're going to attend a bare knuckle boxing you're not really the frigid type, are you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you'd be thinking, oh, that sounds a bit rough. Not sure about that. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't go. So whether that will transfer into the people thinking, I'm all right, I'll get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't picture a load of people sort of in Bolton sort of putting hand sanitizer before each fight. I can't see it like. You know,
I mean, the thing is as well, though, right? I mean, obviously, I've been to a lot of boxing shows and stuff. It never goes off at these bare knuckle ones, really.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's quite a civilized atmosphere a lot of the time because it's real fucking fighting, and like a lot of so it attracts friends who are real fighters, and there's a lot of real fighters in the building there. But some of these like the white collar boxing dudes and stuff like that, it goes off there because of all the fucking pissed up idiots and the plastic gangsters and you know what I mean. That at the bare knuckle dudes very rarely kicks off, you know. So
No.
I think it's becoming a lot more accepted now as well, and as a real sport. Do you know what I mean? And not just some mad cunts in a field.
Yeah, and I think as well, when you do go to an event, one of the things that even like whether it be watching the UFC as something as big as Conor McGregor or something as a Barefish show in Bolton, that what I think will always be there is that is the grounding of it being clearly a nice sport is the camaraderie, because there is always respect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more like Muay Thai, isn't it? It's more like if you go to a Muay Thai show, it's a very respectful atmosphere. There's quite a lot of tradition involved with it. The trainers will encourage respect. The fighters in turn will encourage their fans to act, with respect. So like it's a similar sort of atmosphere to that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I think that's majorly part of it. You know, especially with the liftweight. You know, what's he called? Cole Del Wild.
Yeah.
He's
Cole, yeah.
He'd be a good person to speak to. He's a wealth of knowledge on leftway because whenever I'm presenting these shows, you know, leftway's got quite complex rules, so I always bounce off him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't mind. He's actually another guy I wouldn't mind getting for the documentary as well, because he's obviously the commissioner of leftway, isn't he, in the UK?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. So when's this documentary out then?
I was hoping for July. But we've got a few pickup shots to do and just 2 more interviews. But it's like when we can get back to sort of doing any form of filming, who knows? But the edit's going to be at least 4 weeks. And I think, so I'm hoping maybe July, August.
And what are you going to, because obviously, you want to, what platform, are you going to get it on Netflix or what?
So we're going to go, we've had a couple meetings with the guys, but basically sort of going to help sort of with the distribution of it as well. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to wait until I've got a sort of body of an edit, because then I'll know where it's kind of the best home might be for it. Would it be that kind of gritty documentary, maybe pose it to sort of Channel 4? Is it got the caliber enough to sort of exceed to something like as big as Amazon or Netflix? And at first I was a little bit like, I was almost shooting myself down thinking it's not good enough. But I actually was on Amazon Prime recently, and Ben, there are some shit films on there.
Oh God, yeah.
So it gave me almost hope in thinking, not as in that I'm, sort of downplaying the film. I think it's going to be great, and if it's going to be as good as how I felt during shooting it, it'd be. I feel like it's got a place somewhere in the British sort of fight sort of market. But it's
what are you going to call it?
Don't know yet. Open to ideas.
Yeah.
Kind of, and again, I've got a couple, but that are kind of circulating around. But I kind of want it to be obviously the story of Gaz, and obviously because there's a lot of home life footage. There's a lot of the intensity through training. And all the sort of new sort of health kind of recoveries. Obviously, he was doing a lot of the cryo.
Oh, the cryo stuff. What? I've seen a bit of that. I don't know what it's
loads of that, mate. Cold. Well, hopefully.
Is it just cold?
Well, there's loads of things. There's the sort of cold what's it even? It's kind of like there's a machine obviously that plays around with your oxygen levels.
Yeah.
Sort of stuff that's kind of load of stuff that goes way over my head. I'm gonna have to kind of go more into detail on the edit, but yeah, hopefully July.
Like nitrogen and stuff on your muscles to aid recovery.
Yeah, because they have the tanks outside, the nitron sort of nitros sort of tank that kind of goes outside, and he's on some sort of ventilator, and it's simulating like as if you're going up Mount Everest and stuff. That's why his I don't know if you saw, he did like a post. He did something like 33 punches in like a 30 seconds or something like that, some mad statistic. Because that was the whole.
Beast,
well, not only is he a beast, but it was this whole thing of trying to get his recovery levels, obviously getting back to his resting heart rate as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Do you want to smoke?
No, go for it, mate. Go for it.
Good. Go on.
But hopefully, yeah, July. I'm hoping, mate, and I'll probably send you a cut, a private cut, just to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, definitely. I'd love that. That'd be fantastic.
Because it goes through. It's literally any fight fan. I'm hoping it kind of meets everyone's kind of criteria in the sense that it tells the story of a sort of a working class guy that's been through a bit of a hard upbringing, but to him, he doesn't at first. He didn't see the sort of what's the interest. Oh yeah, cool.
He didn't see the story in it.
Yeah, I do, and just through having a chat with him. And it's mad because I filmed his fight against Anthony Skybrak, which at that time I didn't know him. It was only sort of after that we spoke, and we decided to make this film. But I'm he's a great guy to make the film about. And he's a proper athlete as well. Yeah,
he's part of the new breed of bare knuckle boxers. Yeah, because when it first started, there were a couple of athletes in there. But a lot of them were just mad cunts. Do you know what I mean? And now it's progressing where a bare knuckle boxer is like a proper athlete. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They have a God knows how many week training camp. They take it seriously and they're real contenders.
Yeah.
Across many different disciplines as well. So Gaz, for instance, he does box. He's a high level boxer.
Left way.
High level MMA fighter. The whole thing. Left way, everything. Yeah.
Boxing, kickboxing. So it's
and that's And part of bare knuckle boxing is as it's progressed is there's no particular style that works. So if you go into an MMA club or something, they'll teach you. There's a common line of training now, which is like that American sort of like wrestling, boxing, dirty boxing, jiu-jitsu, and things like that. The most important things. And with bare knuckle, there's nothing. So there's a style developing. I think.
Yeah.
There's each person's different style. But people are realising that, having that tight guard and stuff doesn't work.
No.
Because, you haven't got any padding around your hands.
Well, especially with guarding as well, obviously. Like I've noticed with boxing, you can use your gloves, in terms of sort of protection. But with bare knuckle, just to go around and just sort of do a hook, it's just, it's completely, so you've got to fight differently. And that's why a lot of people it looks more brutal because they kind of go in for impact a lot more quicker. Yeah. But you almost have to. There's that intensity is a lot more sort of an impact than say if you're in boxing where you would need several to sort of lead up to a knockout punch. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like it's all about head movement, foot movement, and you can't really guard parrying the shots away and having very damaging shots and not breaking your hands. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's a new sport, a new style developing. It's fantastic. If you look at the way it's grown in America as well, it's going to be a big thing.
Yeah. You got a lot of UFC guys doing it now, which is obviously going to help sort of lift it off even more, especially because you had Bigfoot Silver. I think he lost, but he fought recently. Um, Barboza, I think he did it recently.
Yeah, and then Matt Paul
Manager, yeah, he obviously did it with Artem. So it's definitely, once the names start coming in, it will help sort of elevate it. But it's yeah, I think it's the only thing is where it comes with the stigma of that it's just sort of like breeds trouble. And I think as long as sort of fight promoters such as the Barefist Boxing Association with Bakewell and the lads, as long as they keep doing what they're doing in terms of showing that, look, you can do an event and it not kick off and it's fine. It's almost
their shows are fantastic.
Yeah,
they're unbelievably professional. All the fights are really well matched. There's a great medical team. The PR that they do, is fantastic. They've done a lot for the sport. It is a phenomenal show. And after, I think it was the one with what's he called, Sean Lomas and Dean Robertson.
Yeah.
After that, I thought, this is something fucking special. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
That was an epic fight that should go down in history really, because it was one of the first left-way fights on UK soil. Yeah, and it was just a phenomenal battle.
That in itself was, for me and you, there was an honour for you to obviously be an MC on, for me to film. It was only about 6 months after I was telling someone, and they said, oh yeah, well, it was technically it was the first left-way fight recorded over here, and I did the filming for that, and you did the MCing. It's quite mad. I think on the night, none of us really fully took it to that, of acknowledged that how kind of high level that is of an honour. Sorry.
For me, to do it, it's just fucking fantastic. I'm right there in the action. Yeah, I meet all the guys. It's just fucking, and I've met some fucking fantastic people. I've fucking not got one that I don't like and that I don't really get on with. A lot of the bare knuckle boxers are the nicest lads you could ever meet.
They are. They're sweethearts.
They're just brave, and fucking hard as fuck, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when you hear the stories of why they fight, for me anyway, it just I don't want to say it justifies, but I feel like, right, okay, I can see a sense of understanding.
Everyone has the different reasons for doing it, don't they?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it might be, a lifelong obsession. It might be a release for them. Do you know what I mean? It might be that they just make money out of it, but they happen to be pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the likes of like Ash Gibson, he's one of the biggest characters in bare knuckle boxing. He's fucking hilarious. He fucking wins all the time.
Yeah.
And he just turns up like, oh yeah, I think I'm fighting. Yeah, be fucking sound. Yeah, sweet. You know what I mean? And then he just fucking he has a very relaxed attitude to it, and he's a phenomenal fighter. He is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like some of the lads that you see him fight as well. You know what I mean? He loves a fucking weight difference, that lad. And then he wins. Do you know what I mean? He just fucking one bombs them with this overhand right that they don't see coming, and people just drop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. What are your thoughts on I think I might have asked him, but Dean Robinson, imagine him and Gaz.
Oh, that'd be a great fight. I think Dean Robinson...
He said he's retired, isn't he?
Yeah, he's retired now. But he loves the sport, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like everybody says they're retiring. And then like 6 months later, they're like, yeah, well, one more.
Yeah, I just think that would be... Because I think... That would be an interesting one. It makes sense because obviously Dean won obviously against Lomas, and it was a very, very close fight, but he won. So and because the roster isn't the biggest obviously for Lethway, and plus I even remember thinking like how there's so much content, the amount of footage that's got from that first fight with Dean and Sean, and the amount of footage that you've got say from Sean and Gaz. If you were to do Dean and Gaz, the amount of promos and content you could make building up to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, Dean Robinson's another really technical fighter. Like, if you watch he puts a lot of videos on Facebook and that of him training at his gym, and he's got a gym over in, I think it's Liverpool or something. Yeah, awesome. But, or that neck of the woods anyway. But, they train properly and the technique is the main focus, and he's got unbelievable technique in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it'll be an amazing matchup. But, Gaz versus Lomas was an amazing matchup.
Yeah.
Because Lomas is a tough geezer, mate.
Yeah.
And he's a technical fighter as well. It was two high-level fighters in the most extreme fighting style in the world.
Yeah.
Happening in Bolton. which is brilliant. You know what I mean? It's
Mad,
fucking
but do you know,
fantastic.
I remember when I got the edits back for the footage back from I think it was BFB7, and watching his interview back, because I didn't do the interviews. You know Lance and Bobby, they were going around doing all that. And I remember hearing the first time when he was speaking to Lance saying, "Yeah, I've had over 300 fights," which is just mad to think. You know, well, technically he's had like 300, and he's had about 3 or 4 since then. So he's had like sort of 304, 305 fights.
It's like, and you gain a lot from that, don't you?
You gain a lot of other good and bad. I mean, the amount of like head sort of injuries and sort of punches to the head that you have. I mean, no matter how good you are, that calculation leads to.
It's got to take its toll, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sean Lomas as well. He's an interesting character. You know, have you seen his hamster racing?
Yeah.
Like I'd love to go to that, but like, you know, when you meet the guy, you just wouldn't think that would be his bag, would you?
But it's cool. It's like
it's cool. Well, because a lot of the thing is with these high level fighters and that fucking hard. Do what the fuck they want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I want to do fucking hamster racing, who's going to say anything to me?
I wouldn't say shit to him. No.
If you want to race your hamsters, bro, you go straight ahead and do it.
Throw in the gerbil as well. Yeah. No,
exactly.
I wouldn't dare say anything to him. But yeah, no, I thought that him and Dean would be, sort of Dean and Gaz would be a kind of cool match up, as I say, because you kind of would have that build up to it. But
yeah, and there's been a lot of fights between legends recently. You know, if you look at, they had the other day Michael Ord versus Scott Midgley. You know, they're both veterans in the game, perhaps the biggest names. You know, if you look at where they started, again, those are the guys back in the day on YouTube and stuff. When I used to watch it as a teenager in the bedroom, thinking, shit, this is mad as fuck. You know, those were the lads fighting.
Was Scott Midgley fighting that long then? Has he been fighting quite?
Oh, you wouldn't think it because he don't look that old.
No.
He's been fighting for ages. He was right there at the beginning.
Right.
You know, when bare knuckle boxing started in this country, yeah, he was like the main face. He's the poster boy, wasn't he? You know what I mean? Pretty boy Midgley. Yeah, man. He's been doing.
Because he looks young. How old is he? Sort of.
He's a Hall of Famer. I don't know. He looks younger than me, so I have no idea. But like, you know, he's got to be 30 something.
I was going to say early 30s. No older though. Definitely.
Yeah.
I saw him. He was doing a bit of the interviewing backstage at the last BFBA show. Was it Bad to Bone? No, yeah, Bit Bearfest it was. And I saw him at the back because he did an interview with Gaz.
He did one with Gaz and one with Alex Wilson, didn't he?
That was it. Yeah. Alex Wilson. Yeah. That's he's there because he was. I think one of his first fights. Alex Wilson was one of the first shows I did.
Yeah, I love that geezer. I absolutely love that geezer. I mean, you know, he's come into the game, yeah, and he's had a few fights and he's just getting better and better. You don't realise how young he is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's only like 23, 24 or something. You know, and I think he's had 5 straight wins now. You know, on a big stage. He's an emerging star, shall we say, in the game. He's got the Northwest area title with Barefist at the minute.
Yeah,
you know,
and another one.
Is
it 2? Is it 2 belts he got? Or was it just one?
I think he's got a boxing belt as well. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I can't know. It's hard to keep track of them all, but like, you know, he is an emerging star, and he'll go far. He will. Yeah. He'll be a star in the game because he's a character as well. You know what I mean? He's a funny geezer, man.
Yeah. Well, Gaz kept saying that he wants to do a podcast with him, so I'll try and get that.
Well, him, Gaz, and Batewell went over to see the BKB Italia team, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Went over and trained with him. You know, so they're all proper. You know, they're close. Them 3 together now. You know what I mean? But the BKB Italia lads as well, you know, they're doing some proper exciting stuff over there. You know, they've taken bare knuckle to Italy, which is growing in popularity there. And they just train for bare knuckle in their gym. Do you know what I mean? So the whole thing is just for bare knuckle, really. And they all went over doing, I think it was a left way seminar, you know.
Yeah,
so,
I remember you saying that, yeah.
You know,
so
starting to gain traction all over the world. If you look at it, you know, Anthony Sprague, you know, he's from Australia. He comes all the way over from Australia, and he fights. So clearly, people in all corners of the globe are watching, you know, the bare fish shows and stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
It's definitely it's growing, man. It's growing. And hopefully, well, one of the main aims with this film is I want someone to watch it and kind of see a bit more for people that are kind of against fighting and they kind of see it as violent. I just kind of, it's to sort of show like, look, these people almost, it's a breed of people. It's a type of, you know, it's a sense of release. It's a language they speak. And I just hope
it's a martial art. That's what it's the British martial art. Yeah, it is the martial art of the British Isles. You know, if you look at it, you know, in all over the world, you know, they have kung fu, they have Muay Thai, they have left way, they have jiu-jitsu, Japanese and Brazilian, you know, American wrestling, you know, boxing, the whole thing. The true British martial art is bare knuckle.
Yeah.
You know, if you look at our history, you know, and if you look at like paintings from back in the day and that, and having boxing matches, they haven't got any gloves on. You know what I mean? It is the sport of like Northern Europe, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, it's their martial art, you know, which is having a revival, you know, which people may view as barbaric, but you know, in MMA you're getting, you know, knees to the head, elbows to the head, you know, some very, you know, horrific injuries in MMA. You know, bare knuckle seems to be, although it's more exciting, you know, it is safer in a way. You're very unlikely to break your leg in bare knuckle.
No.
You know, or to snap your back or your neck or something, you know.
Yeah, no, it seems to people. I think just because it causes more cuts, people sort of like see it more violent.
Bare knuckle as well, isn't it?
It's the name, but I just know I've seen with the likes of when you don't have obviously relying gloves and stuff, and you have more blows, and it's obviously more of the kind of vibration go through. With wraps and sort of the bare knuckle, more cuts are present, like elbows would.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But therefore, with cuts, it just looks more brutal. But
well, like, there's things that there's studies out there that say that it's actually not as bad as boxing for you because you don't get repeated injury. In boxing, you'll get a bad knock, but then you'll carry on for 12 rounds, aggravating that bleed in the brain. In bare knuckle, if you get a shot that's bad enough to give you a bleed on the brain, you're probably going to be knocked out or covered in blood, and then therefore you have to stop it.
Yeah, stop it. Yeah,
and it's 3 2-minute rounds, so although you can break bones and you can do all these different things, the level of damage that you can get is perhaps worth in other sports, you know.
Yeah. So, well, look at it's in the middle of where it's not boxing, and you've got bare knuckle. In the middle where you've got the sort of 7-ounce gloves in MMA. Did you see Joanna Jędrzejczyk and the swelling that she had, like Frankenstein?
I saw it, mate.
Versus Zhang Li. But she looked like the Elephant Man, but like just you know, from the certain blows to the head and certain part. I think it was kind of near somewhere on the top of the head that she hit. And it just the swelling, obviously, just I don't know if you saw it. It was mid-fight, one of the best female.
I think there was
fights.
a meme. I didn't see the fight, but I think I saw the meme or something.
Yeah,
saying like, you know, showing the pictures and stuff. So
that was
interesting.
That was an intense.
So have you been watching many of the hay bales fights then?
Yeah, watched a few. I got on a bit of a sort of into a bit of a black hole where I kind of watched a few a couple of weeks ago where I watched about 6 or 7 in a row. It's just mad. It's insane. I kind of don't like it as much as say as the ring and sort of the octagon because I feel that's more of a tournament based. The hay bale is more like who's just the craziest bastard and the hardest and got the strongest arms because there's so many things that are taken out from foot movement to obviously sort of being able to sort of parry anything. It's very just knock 'em, sock 'em.
It's a forced brawl, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's a different sport completely. You know, it's the way that they fight and the fact that it's done in hay bales and stuff is all to do really with history. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it started in the hay bales, really. You know, but they've kept it that way and like, you know, the ones that on Spartan was it's like 8 foot squared. Do you know what I mean? So it's 8 foot squared, less than that, whatever it is. It's small. Do you know what I mean? It's like fucking 4 meters.
They're not moving much, I can tell you that.
No, they're not moving much. You know, and it's it's often over quite quickly. But then when you do have a 3-round match, Jesus, is it exciting?
Yeah.
You know, if you look at like Jacob Williams versus Robbie Addison, which was just recently, Robbie Addison's like he's just a great fighter. You know what I mean? He's got a great. I don't put it like sort of pizzazz about him. He comes dancing into the ring and stuff. He's a proper happy guy. Do you know what I mean? He always comes out to some happy song.
Yeah.
He's a brutal fighter. You know, and his opponent was Jacob Williams, who's like a London guy, like scary geezer if I'm honest. You know what I mean? He looks the part, and he was so fired up leading into this fight. You could just see it. He looked like a fighting dog in a cage or something. Do you
What's
know
his name again?
Jacob Williams.
That's right.
And anyway, I spoke to him. What a fucking lovely bloke. Top geezer. Proper sound. Like, he came on the scene and it started with like a video that he put on saying, "I'm Jacob Williams. I'm coming to fight. I'm coming to take over." Yeah, and like no one had heard of him. No one knew what he was all about. So like, will he turn up? Won't he turn up? Is he going to be a good fighter? Is he not? And he came, and mate, he was not messing around. He was the real deal. Do you know what I mean? And Robbie beat him.
Right.
But I think a lot. It was perhaps to do with experience from Robbie's part. Because Jacob was just swinging, going for it like a madman and doing some damage to Robbie. But Robbie managed to weather that storm. And then as Jacob got
Tired.
tired, then he started to do his work. But what a fight, man.
Right.
It was,
Is it on YouTube? Is that one on YouTube?
yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay, I'll find it.
Or it should be. It should be. I was looking for it the other day, actually. I couldn't find it. But it will be on YouTube somewhere. They definitely videotaped it.
I'll try and find it.
So that one was live streamed, that one was.
Right.
So, but I remember the first Spartan Wars show I did, yeah. The guy rang me, yeah, and he was like, "Oh, you come do my show this, that, and the other." I was like, "Yeah, sound." Got there, I just looked, it was like a circus tent, a sea full of people who all looked like, you know what I mean?
You're not going to fuck with.
Everyone looked like a crook. You know what I mean?
It's like that's a scene from Snatch.
It was just, mate, more ridiculous than Snatch. Miles more ridiculous than Snatch. It was just like chaos. Do you know what I mean? Just like, just madness, yeah. And anyway, just thought, right, get a couple of beers down me. I've got to do my thing. Anyway, started like, had a few technical problems. They didn't have any lights, and like, so everyone had to get the phones out because the generator broke and do fight by phone light and stuff.
No.
And like,
that would look cool on camera.
It was slowly falling apart a little bit, yeah. And I thought, I'm just gonna have to get twisted here. Do you know what I mean? So I said to like the crowd, listen, the more you get me on it, the funnier I become. And like, there was such a fucking amazing crowd that everyone's just grabbing me. I don't even know what I took, putting tablets in my mouth, doing lines on phones and stuff like that. And like, at one point, I remember something had kicked in. I fell off the bales. Everyone's screaming, laughing, throwing me back into the ring. Then I called an impromptu MC battle. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, right, not going to be another fight for about 15 minutes. Who can MC? And everyone's like, he can. I was like, right, if your mate thinks it's an MC, drag him into this pit now. So there's lads dragging like other lads into the pit, like who don't want to MC but they're being forced to it. And then this promptu MC battle just started out of nowhere. People's passing the microphone. And I don't know if you know internet stars Fraz and Mole Grip.
No.
They're the ones who say like, "I'll fucking bang your mum, you dickhead."
Oh yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, past
them
videos
ones.
on Facebook.
They were there, yeah. So they were MCing.
Oh no!
There's other people that are completely off the box MCing, and I'm just like the ringmaster of it, like fucking the ringleader of it, like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory or something, completely off my fucking box in a gold jacket, wearing shorts though and 110s. Do you know what I mean? Because I got there and realised like, couldn't dress up too fancy. I just have to look like an idiot, and people will like me more. Do you know what I mean? And like, it was just chaos. I'll send you the video of it.
Yeah, do.
It is so ridiculous. But if you look in the crowd, everybody is shocking out, screaming, going mental, mate. Because like, they were having the fucking time of their lives. They really were.
Try and get me onto the one there. I think I said to you at the time, didn't I? I remember saying Nav posted a picture. It's like, bring me next time. Like, yeah, definitely bring me to that. Because
I'll tell you what, Nav's a very interesting geezer. Because you know, he used to, like, he was the first Asian fella to fight bare knuckle against the gypsies on like the traveller sites.
That famous video on YouTube, isn't it? Yeah.
From back in the day, mate.
Big old Nav.
He's such a lovely guy.
Oh, he's top. He's a big teddy, isn't he, as well?
Well, all the Barefist lads have got like proper interesting backgrounds. So Batewell is like, you know, he's perhaps the best known fighter in Bolton. Phenomenal fighter, and like everybody loves him as well. Do you know what I mean? Top geezer, fucking awesome bloke. Do you know what I mean? But he's had some hard fights as well. He's never done the journeyman thing. He's always gone for gold. Do you know what I mean? And like, he's fought some big names in Muay Thai, and you know, and bare knuckle. He was like he was on his first show. Do you know what I mean? He didn't pick, you know, he didn't get it picked for him. He had a proper hard opponent, Brad Raden, who's like a tough. Well, he's actually in prison now, but he's like a tough dude. You probably know the story, but we won't go into that. Yeah, he's like a fucking tough dude. He is like, and it was groundbreaking at that time. You know, it was like in a car park on the other side of the other side of Bolton. There's like burnt out cars around the ring and that, and caravans, and like it was just fucking mental, mate.
Yeah,
that one. And then you got Wiggy, he's like the martial arts guru of them all. Do you know what I mean? He's like a a phenomenal, used to be a great cage fighter, and a phenomenal like wrestling and jiu-jitsu and technical guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Nav, who's like the businessman, who's got like a phenomenal history in like boxing and bare knuckle boxing. He's a pro boxer as well now.
Yeah, they've all got their.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're all
got
the
their
real
own
deal.
stories.
All of them, and their stories are as interesting as. And I don't think any other, no other sort of firm has that as such. Do you know what I mean? They're like, them three amigos there are just, you know what I mean? They've all got their own tales, and they're all. No one can say that they're not true thoroughbred fighters. All of them. Do you know what I mean? They've been around the sport since day one. They've all put themselves in the most extreme circumstances they can and come out victorious. It's an interesting group of people.
It is.
It really is.
It is. It's almost like an MTV show, isn't it? You can imagine.
Like a film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just I can imagine. This mad awful.
Don't know who the fuck I'd be in that film though.
Oh, you would with your gold jacket and
I'd be like the crackhead one that they all feel sorry for, but they still like him, right? You know what I mean?
The thing is though, as well, you're if you're wired though, because of the contact lenses that you wear, you wouldn't even be able to tell because obviously it's the dilated pupil.
To be honest with you, the majority of visits, I'm not normally wired. I'm pretty much teetotal me a lot of the time. I'm not a big session head, but at that Spartan Wars one, there was no other option. I was so nervous, I had to get on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Why were you nervous for that one then, more so than the others?
Just because, right? So, I mean, I don't want to slate the way it was organised or anything, and the guy that runs it will be first to admit, it didn't go very smoothly. It was just a lot of people turned up. They paid for VIP. They didn't have VIP tickets or whatever. But I think he gave them the money back and stuff. He sorted everyone out in the end. He's a decent geezer, the guy that runs it. And but like fighters weren't turning up. There was the microphone was broke. There was no lights. It's like, and people were getting a bit. There's loads of people there, and like there's no tiered seating or anything. So the hay bales were at ground level.
Right.
So everyone's pushing to get to the front. Do you know what I mean? And like it's more like a scrum around you, a sea of people.
Right.
And it was chaos, and I had to like orchestrate it. Do you know what I mean? And it was just fucking, just I don't know why, it just looked intimidating when you first looked in.
Yeah.
A field full of people who were like twisted, mad-looking geezers and that. Just
When do you reckon?
Circus tent.
Do you reckon you'll be doing? Is that so? Once this kind of blows over, you looking to sort of get more into doing those then, more fight shows?
Who knows? To be honest with you, I don't know. If I could do it as a full-time job and earn the amount of money that I earn doing my normal job, I'd fucking love to do it, mate. What's your path to that? Do you try and get on a boxing show? Do you stick with what you're doing? Do you try and get over to America, which is probably if for instance I could get myself as the MC on the American show, do you know what I mean? Killed it. That's it. I've done it then.
Well, maybe we need to try and that. Well, do you remember, I don't know how much you can say about it, but I know we can't certainly do anything for a bit. But that kind of show idea that you said about.
Definitely, mate. Definitely, 100%.
Because I mentioned, I pull it past Gaz, and he was like, game, like and I knew he would be, and there'd be other like loads of them, like even with Dean and Sean, and because especially with you, and we can just make it very kind of guerrilla style, just me and you, like one camera.
Exactly, and the fight, and like I want to spar him as well. Do you know what I mean? Because like, don't get me wrong, I'm not on their level. I'm not. Do you know what I mean? But I've done a lot of sparring in that, so I'll be able to have a spar with them, right? You know what I mean? And it will show that difference in level and what they're. That's what I'd want to focus on in this program if we're going to do it. Go to their gym, see how they're trained, talk a little bit about their life, whatever they think is interesting or however they want to play it, and then at the end of it, spar them, let them twat me. I said let them twat me, they'll twat me anyway, but let them twat me, like, and then like afterwards have a discussion about it. So I don't know, your low kick is phenomenal, your the way your footwork's great. I can't tag you, whatever. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. Well, you'd have to make it up once you'd sparred them and then discuss them and say. Like,
no, I can see the crack you'd have with them, like in terms of just sort of having a bit of a laugh. But no, I'd be definitely well up for that, man. So make sure you kind of keep that going.
Definitely, mate. I mean, I've been totally, everyone's busy, aren't they? And then this has just made everyone, it's fucking mad, isn't it? You know what I mean? But like, my focus just recently has been, doing that, the one in Birmingham, with the rappers and all that, and like, and what am I going to do that? How's that going to work and stuff? And like, it's phenomenal. That was. It was like they've come up with a new concept, and like it worked. It works really, really well.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll want to do it again and they'll want to have me on again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully, mate. You have to keep.
But I get a lot of offers as well, though. So it's like I want to be picking the ones now that I enjoy doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I love, all the shows that I'm involved with, but like, do I really want to go and do like a white collar where I don't really know anybody and stuff, and like wear all that mad stuff and people think like, what's he all about? Do you know what I mean?
It's gonna, you need to make sure you feel comfortable. But then saying that, sometimes you sound like you're a guy that kind of is just sort of versatile in the sense that if you get thrown into a bit of a situation where there's like a load of toffs going, what's this fella all about with the gold jacket? I can see you kind of just rolling with it and just sort of.
Oh yeah, but I'm a reptile, mate. I'm
Yeah.
a alien. Do you know what I mean? I can do that, but like, if you turn up in all that mad shit that I wear to like a mad venue full of mad people, it works really well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've been to a couple before where I've done it and I thought, has that worked? Or not? Do you know what I mean? Or did they just think, where the fuck have you got this MC from? Who's this
keep
geezer?
doing it, because I think it's a niche, man. Because I think if everyone's just doing the same, that's where it can just sort of.
Yeah.
You've got like a standard of like professionalism, and that you want to have like a structure of like a fight show. There's only so many fights, but in terms of the entertainment, I think each sort of organisation's got to have its kind of. Sort of niche, if you will, in terms of
Yeah, of course.
Why to remember, say BFBA over Bad to the Bone to UFC, Bellator. They've all kind of got to have their own little quirks, if you will.
Exactly.
What is it? How are you kind of keeping sane before I let you go in terms of like through these times? Have you been doing these? Have you started skipping or?
I've been smoking a lot of very strong cannabis. I've been lying in my jacuzzi. I've been watching Netflix.
What have you been watching actually? Because I know there's a few things. What have you been watching?
Tiger King is my favourite.
Oh, who hasn't seen that? Yeah,
fucking brilliant. That was phenomenal. That was. And like, I'm the Tiger King of the bare knuckle boxing scene. Do you know what I mean? Like, the massive cunts. Do you know what I mean? I'm do you know what I mean? I need to get two husbands now, and I'm there, and and a tiger.
I bet,
figuring out, that's what I've been doing while I'm off. Figuring out how to set up my tiger cult. Have you seen the platform's fantastic?
No, we've got it on our list. Is it Spanish or French? If it's a subtitle,
I don't know. It seems Japanese because it like don't really make sense. It's all like a bit of a head fuck. So I thought it was Japanese or something. But,
oh right, okay. I thought,
but I think I don't know if it's a Spanish film of a Japanese concept or something like that.
Is it a guy stuck on a platform though, and it's about how everyone's got to feed? He's got to feed everyone.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, but it's like it goes deep into it, and especially at the moment with everybody like panic buying and stuff like that. It's quite relevant. So it's about human greed, really.
Right.
And like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Joking aside, I've not been smoking that much, but like, I've got my little baby girl here. I've got a lovely garden with like, it's just nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, mate, I'm normally up and down the country non-stop, extremely busy. Do you know what I mean? Phone's ringing every 30 seconds. Just all died off. Man, I'm just loving the peace and spending time with my kid. It's been phenomenal. Going in the great outdoors, not having takeaways, cooking every night, all those sort of things. It's been, and I've not played a console since I was about 12 years old. And I've got an Xbox with Call of Duty, and mate, it has blown me away.
Are you on the Warzone?
Nah, well, I've only got old games, so I've got like Black Ops.
Oh right, I've got the new one. Right.
Like literally, me and my girlfriend turned it on, yeah, and like where you used to turn the Super Nintendo on, it just says play or start. Like, the fuck is all this? Like, it doesn't say start anywhere. So then you're like HQ, and then you go to something else that doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like
so much choice now.
It's so intricate now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once I got the hang of it, Jesus Christ, I was up to like 3 a.m. just playing it. It's like your eyeballs are aching. Do you know what I mean?
Story of my life, that yeah. But then the new one's got this thing called Warzone, which is like 150 players, and you all just drop onto a map. And I have to be a bit careful, mate, because I'm known to sort of when I'm playing games with like my brother or my mate Dave and Dom, I can get a little bit I can get a little bit too into it. You know, I think I'm some sort of like fucking
Like start
sergeant.
dressing
Yeah,
up as
you
a
know.
soldier and shit.
Yeah, I get a little bit bossy. Lizzie said,
Eating sardines out of a tin and like.
I get a bit too. I need to chill out a little bit. Too competitive, me, on that. But no, I do enjoy it though. And it's certainly something to do whilst there. That's why I did the skipping, man. I'm just trying to. I can go out and walk the dogs, but just trying to like do new hobbies and stuff. You know, keep myself sane. Like, so it's just it's getting there. But yeah, Sam. All right. Well, listen, I'll let you go. It's been awesome catching up with you, and hopefully we'll be able to sort of chill soon.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. Before I go, though, can I just plug my OnlyFans?
Of course you can.
So I've got an OnlyFans. I get my bum crack out, whole thing, dressed as a schoolgirl. You know what I mean? Or licking lollipops and all that shit. So check it out.
What's the name though?
I'm joking, man.
I thought you were going to say it's Tony Mombasa.
I don't know why, right? I swear to God, I get a lot of gays messaging me, and I don't know why.
I remember you showing me some pictures of it.
I'm clearly straight, like. I was speaking to one of them and said, listen, mate, you know, not homophobic or anything, but what's it all about, man? Because I've got like a kid and a missus and that. So why would you choose to message me? And like, I think it's the gold jacket. Do you know what I mean? So I thought I'm looking like Dave Courtney, like some sort of East End gangster with like gold teeth in there. Ends up, I'm like looking properly gay. Do you know what I mean?
You showed me some of the requests that you got, and they're quite, they're intense. They're quite intense.
They're all very unusual. The guy that drew me was the best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And then the other guy that, like, he had an interest in bare knuckle boxing. He kept saying he wanted to sponsor me, and I was like, mate, I'll fuck your shit, bro. If you don't want to sponsor me, I'll tell you you should sponsor. So I put him on to a load of different people. I think I put him on to Danny Ledbetter. And anyway, I didn't realise he was like a gay guy that loved people with hairy chests. And then he started asking me, like, you know, who's got the hairiest chest in bare knuckles? I was like, what the fuck does that matter, bro? Do you know what I mean? And then, like, I was like, mate, are you gay? And he was like, yeah. I was like, are you into bare knuckle boxing or men with hairy chests? And he was like, well, both. I was like, dude, like, come on, man. You know what I mean?
Mad.
Like,
well,
at one point I had an influx of them. I don't know why. Do you know what I mean? But I'd always, this is the thing, I'd always try and pass them on to someone else. So then, you know, get a call off your mates going, mate, why is that dude messaging me? I'm like, yes. You know what I mean?
Wonder what it is about the gold jacket. I thought it'd be the sort of the swagger of it, but yeah, maybe it's the attire, mate.
Don't know what it is, mate. Maybe it's my kind eyes. Not sure.
Maybe,
you know what I mean?
Mix it up a bit. But yeah, give us a shout hopefully when in the summer we can maybe start doing a couple of episodes for that show idea that you said.
Definitely, mate. 100%.
And hopefully we'll be next time we see each other, it'll be like a fight show or something. Just fingers crossed. Sort of.
Yeah.
How long have we got left now of this lockdown? Is it one more week? No, two.
Mate, it's going to go on for a while, mate.
I know, yeah. People say months. I know. I think I'm going just by what obviously the government have said, but you take that.
At the end of the day, it's not peaked yet, has it? Do you know what I mean? So like, if you let everyone go out again, it's just going to spread like wildfire, and the NHS isn't up to the capacity that it needs to be as yet. It's probably not going to be for a while, is it? You know what I mean? So, but it's fucking surreal, though. It is surreal.
It is.
Do you know what I mean?
It is, but we need to keep each other sane and obviously pep each other. Because I've noticed it's quite easy, isn't it, to get to sort of all doom and gloom. And I think that's why I'm just trying to keep entertained as we all are, doing things like this and just finding new hobbies as well. I think that's the most important thing. Because we've all got shit as well that we say throughout the year, I'll get around to it, and there's no better time.
But you know, mate, for me, it's like an opportunity to like enjoy life for a little bit.
With your time with your girl as well, obviously, because you work, yeah.
Yeah, time with my girl, time with my dog, time with my missus, doing a bit of gardening, like might read a book. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I've not had an opportunity to do that shit for years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the older you get, the busier you get. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I just feel like the pressure's off for me until I get it and nearly die. Do you know what I mean? But that's always looming. I'm thinking I'm having the fucking best time ever. It's like, but remember why? It's like a worldwide pandemic, the end of the world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm liking all this 5G shit that people like Vodafone are trying to end the human race or something. Do you know what I mean?
There's this is what I mean. The news is just it's such a toxic place, but that's the thing with people connecting 5G and this, and it's just brain just go, you know.
Yeah, done it. You know what I mean?
It's
a real situation, though, isn't it? But they've been predicting it for years. They've always said something like this would happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They knew a pandemic was coming, but just perhaps didn't think it would be soon. Do you know what I mean?
No, man. Well, it's well, if people need to hire you for your sexual services, is it where can most people find you? Is it like through the Tony Mombassa on Instagram?
So the best thing to do is, if someone wants me to be part of their show, contact me via Tony Mombassa or something. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, okay. That's the best one. Or Instagram, Benny_Mombassa.
Benny_Mombassa. Cool, man.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it.
Cool, man. Well, listen, it was lovely talking to you, and I'll,
you too, mate.
Hope just keep in touch, mate, and hopefully we'll get something arranged soon. And just take care of yourself, buddy.
You too, brother. Fuck the corona.
Fuck the corona. Adios, amigos.
Pills and codeine.